Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Lucia and you already know what we are going to do today. I'm going to be ranking all of the queer books that I've read. I have a bunch here, so let's just begin. I'm not going to explain what each book is about just because they are too much. So I'm going to just give my opinions and that may make you want to read it or not. Love Spell. I don't even remember what this book is about. So we are going to leave it on. It helped me take a nap just because it was definitely not memorable. The Cabin at the End of the Woods. I had low expectations of this book, so it definitely went over what I was hoping for and I really liked it. The movie sucks, but this book is great. The ending had me so conflicted because there is some of it that I loved and there is some of it that I hate. So we are going to leave it at heart eye emojis when you speak to me about it, just because I really like the characters, especially the little girl. Rise to the Sun, I tried to read it, but I couldn't finish it, so it was a DNF. I'm going to put it in this feels homophobic because it feels homophobic coming from me. Like, how did I not enjoy a sapphic book? But it's just insta lovey, super insta lovey. They fall in love in 2 days, and I cannot. She Who Became the Sun is one of my favorite books of this year. The main protagonist, they want to conquer the world, and you know they are going to do it. And I just want to see them get everything they want because Cinderella is Dead is another of those cases where I didn't like it. I don't exactly remember why, but the main character I think was just not my cup of tea. The Lesbiana's Guide to Catholic School is one of my favorite books of the entire year. You can literally bury me with this book. Like, I never felt so seen and so understood by a book so much. The main protagonist is a Latina lesbian and has a ton of religious trauma.
Wait, is this fucking play about us?
And Sandstone is a graphic novel, a mature graphic novel. I liked it, but it is written by a man and it's very sexual, so it feels weird. I'm going to leave it at it was okay because I liked it when I read it, but I won't continue with the other volumes or stuff like that. She Gets the Girl is another of my favorite sapphic books. These girls are just having fun, they are just loving each other, loving life. There are some issues, but most of the book is just cute, fluffy, fun vibes. And I just love how easy everything is regarding liking girls. Like, almost all the girls here like girls. And there's never a coming out scene or stuff like that. Like, they just mention their ex-girlfriend, the girl they like. Like, it's literally just part of them and who they like, and it's so easy and calm and it feels so comforting. This is How to Lose the Time War. It's another book that I didn't like. I finished this one and I actually will add it to It Helped Me Take a Nap just because I didn't understand what was going on. This book is told in letters and that was so confusing. I couldn't differentiate one person from the other. I also couldn't understand how they loved each other if they never met. The Foxhole Court, I feel everyone who has read this book has a conflicting relationship with this book. It is the best book I have ever read. No. Have I read it 3 times? Yeah. And I'm probably going to be reading it someday again. It's just so addicting and the characters are so messed up, but at the end of the day I kind of love them too. So I'm going to put it here. Check Please is going to be my first book that is not yellow on the Butter Me With It column. I read it a couple of years ago and since then it has been my favorite graphic novel. Like, nothing has topped it. The main character is my baby and I adore him and I adore the team. Everyone is so lovely. I just wish I could live inside this graphic novel. Careless is a relationship between a woman and 2 men where the men are actually two. And to be honest, when I read this book, I was just looking for smut because it's like a short story. I'm not even sure if it's a book, like a novel. It's just smut. And I was looking for that and it delivered and it was great. It was a fun time. So I'm going to leave it there. The Raven Boys is one of my favorite series of all time, mainly because of the queer characters in this book. Also, all the mystery and the investigation of the ley lines. But the queer characters and the short story Opal broke my heart. Like, that still affects me to this day. Like, I haven't been the same person after reading that book. Tash Herz Tolstoy, it's a great book with a asexual character. I had a lot of fun reading it. It's YA and at times it's a little bit really young to read, but it was still fun and I love the characters. Him, okay, this is finally a book that goes into this feels homophobic, and it's not because of me. It is this book. These two main characters didn't have any chemistry at all. Like, I couldn't see them actually together or why they like each other. Another one that feels homophobic, Wicked Beauty. This is the same. The characters don't have any chemistry whatsoever. Like, why are they together? I don't know. The Daughters of Isidar was okay. I liked it, but there was nothing really like stood out a lot for me. Okay, I feel a little bit ashamed of this, but 36 Venom, you can bury me with it. It's bad. It talks like these lesbians shouldn't be together at all. Like, they need therapy. But this book is great. I don't know. It's the same as the Foxhole Court, but it's fine. It's fiction. Like, it's okay.
A few moments later.
I'm just going to leave the Raven Boys into the heart eyes emojis category just because I feel like they bury me with this kind of books. It's like the Raven Boys is amazing, but it doesn't get to that level. So 36 Venom is also going into the heart eyes emojis category just because, again, they bury me with these books. It's really bury me with these books. The Son of Achilles is an amazing story. I feel like almost every single person in the planet has read it. Most of us just love it. I feel like this one should be in the middle of bury me with it, but also heart eyes emojis, just because I really loved it, but I haven't reread it and I don't really feel the impulsion to do it. And with the other books in bury me with these books, it's like I'm going to be rereading them over and over again for my entire life because I love them. El Chico de las Estrellas, it's a Spanish book, which I don't remember a ton of it. I just know that I didn't like it and that I found it really boring. Fence is a graphic novel that I read recently, and I only read the first 2 volumes, and it hasn't happened anything so far. Like, we are just getting the beginning, so we are going to leave it in the it was okay column, but hopefully with the next volumes I will actually end up loving this. At this point, I feel like you should bury me with any book that Sonora Reyes comes out with. I'm going to leave the Luis Ortega Survival Club in the bury me with it. The characters are so resilient. They learn so much throughout the book, and they also go through so much. It's nice to see how this group comes together for a reason, but then they stay together because they love each other. Found family is one of the base tropes. Sonora Reyes writes them so well. The writing is out of this world. The way they make me connect with their characters, I love them. I just love them. Crier's War was super popular a couple of years ago, and I read it and I didn't like it. All of these books that I didn't like, I don't remember a ton of things about them because if I didn't like them, I don't need to remember. Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me. I really liked it, but I wouldn't get heart eyes emojis if I hear you talking about it. I probably will be like, that book was messed up, right? Because it is focusing on the toxic relationship between this girl and Laura Dean and how badly she's treated. So I'm going to actually leave it in the middle because it was not only okay, like, it was great. It is the first book I read where the abusive relationship is like the main focus. So I'm going to leave it in the middle because it will generate me some emotion if I hear other people talking about it, but it won't be the heart eyes emojis. Talking about the heart eyes emojis, this chef is actually one of the ones that put hearts in my eyes. This is just so cute. I love when we have baking in books and when characters get to connect through that. So this was a lovely time. I was looking for a short, sweet story, and that's what I got. So I loved it. That was exactly what I was hoping to find also when I read The Breaths We Take, but it wasn't what I received. This book is going to go in this book Have My Take a Nap, just because I remember not liking it and having to force myself to like continue because I was kind of bored. I loved Melissa. I think these characters are great, are sweet. It's middle grade, so I adore it. I'm going to leave it in the heart eyes emoji just because it does make me super happy and just fluffy thinking about this book. The Girl from the Sea is a cute sapphic graphic novel that I enjoyed. It was okay, it didn't change my life. Another case where the problem is actually the book and not me. Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. This book feels homophobic in a way that once I saw, I don't know if it was a tweet, a TikTok, whatever, that it said Simon versus the Homo sapiens was a gay book written for straight people, and that feels so spot on. Like the character seems super bland. Also, the chemistry was lacking. Her Royal Highness, in the other hand, was amazing. The characters are so sweet. The chemistry is there. We get to see a lot of Scotland, which I loved. Again, this book is not meant to be with me on my resting days, but I still loved it. Six of Crows has one of my favorite bisexual. He is amazing, so we are going to leave it in the heart eyes emojis. Can't Let Her Go is in between being the book problems and maybe a problem with me. It's another case of the characters don't have chemistry. Like, why are they together? I don't know, because it happened in the book. Like, there is no reason for it. The Little Green Doesn't Care is another book where you get some vibes, fluffy, cute. Everyone likes girls here. Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail also would put heart in my eyes. I love the message that there is not a timeline for when you have to completely know yourself and what you like and how do you identify. Like, you can learn more about yourself as time goes on. Spellbound gives me the same vibes as Hairstopper, but even better for me. I just loved it. It has magic, the characters are cute, it's fluffy, it has a little bit of mystery, but it's mostly just fluffy and cutesy and, YA. You know what it is the contrary of fluffy and sweet and cute? Sorrowland. This book, I wasn't expecting everything that happened. The cult, the sci-fi stuff, the killings and the blood. There was a lot going on. It surprised me, but in a good way. I loved it. The lucky list, I'm thinking like maybe, I don't know. I feel like this is also in the middle of bury me with this book and not. So I'm going to put it here for now. I loved it. I love the main characters. I love the entire process. But I don't fully feel like it's my book. Like, here are the books that show you everything that is inside of me. This book is more like I loved it on its own. Like, it doesn't relate to me, so it shouldn't be on my grave. So now that we are talking about it, I'm going to move it and just leave it at heart emojis because I love it, but it doesn't belong with me. Carmilla is one of the worst books I read this year so far. It doesn't even feel homophobic. It's like the person who wrote it couldn't even imagine how two women would like each other because the chemistry for these girls wasn't there. The roommate arrangement, I'm going to I'm going to put it in bury it with me, but it's not because I see myself or my connection with it. It's just I love the main character. There is few characters that I can actually say I have a crush on. That if they were real, I would make it my mission to marry them. And Ray from this book is everything that I would want. So she's going to be stuck with me on my grave. Just for Show is another book that I really liked, but I've never reread it. Maybe I will do it in the future. But for now, it's a just okay kind of book. The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue was an okay read. I don't remember a ton of it. I know I like the travel aspect of it, but then like the romance, I don't remember anything about it, so it was okay. Story Row was such a disappointment. It was one of my most anticipated releases, and the fact that I DNF'd it feels homophobic. Like, I was really hoping this book was going to be one of my favorites of the year. The main character, I didn't like her at all. She drives me crazy. I just love sporty sapphic. Softball players are at the top of everything, but basketball players, any other type of sport, I also love reading about, so this book is there. Flavor of the month, I'm going to leave it at This Helped Me Take a Nap, just because I don't remember a lot of this book. I know I didn't love it, and it was also involved in baking, so it is weird that I didn't love it because I usually do. You Should See Me in a Crown was a lot of fun, and I love reading about it. I love the drama, I love the friends, I love the cute teenage suffix. Cupid's Bow is actually a really short story, and I liked it, but it wasn't mind blowing. I was looking for smut, and I didn't get that, so it was okay. The Witch and the Vampire was also another disappointment, but I feel like this one should go between they were okay and they helped me take a nap, because it isn't that it made me take a nap. I was so bored that I was frustrated and angry because I was really hoping to like this book. When the Sparks Fly, I'm going to leave it in the this feels homophobic kind of way, but again, this is my fault because I don't even remember what this book is about. Surrender Your Sons was full of adventure and mystery and weird stuff happening. I read it a while ago, so I don't remember a lot of details, but I do remember that I liked it. Illusions is another case of that. I love the magic, but I feel like it had magic, but I don't actually remember. So it was okay. I know I liked it when I read it, but I haven't think about it since. I read Pet recently and I adored it. I love the main character, the message, how we are never going to get rid of monsters, and thinking that we do is really dangerous. The Unbroken, it's another book that I read recently and I adored it. I'm reading such amazing books lately, but this also had a toxic relationship. So it's interesting to see different kind of queer relationships in books. The Miseducation of Cameron Post, I was hoping to love this book as much as I like the movie, but it wasn't that, or at least I feel like it's very similar to the movie, so I would have been okay just watching the movie. Okay, I'm running out of space, so I'm going to start putting them on top. But Forget Me Not is another book where I get heart eyes emojis. I still haven't processed this book completely. I feel like I still need a couple more days. I Think I Love You is a cute YA sapphic story, and I really liked it and I recommend it. But I read it a while ago and I don't plan on rereading it. The Jasmine Throne is another of these cases. I really enjoyed it and I'm looking forward to reading the second book. Maybe that will make it to my heart eyes emoji category. The Falling in Love montage is another of my favorite books. I also feel like this book is a comfort one because of all of the things these girls do and how they fall in love and just the summer vibes. Here Comes the Sun, I really liked reading it. Well, I didn't like it. It was a whole roller coaster. I have a blog if you want to see it. This book is really deep and deals with a lot of heavy topics, so it wasn't an easy read. I still liked it. It was not only okay, I liked it, I loved it, but not in a hard eyes kind of way. More in like, this is so important to read, and at times I like reading about difficult topics that puts you a little bit in an uncomfortable place. Queens of Geek is a recommendation that my friend Julie gave to me. It was the first book I read just because she told me to. It's still a great story. I love the friend group. I love the different characters and how they deal with the crush they have, and how they try to get their perfect partners. Hero Complex is such an absurd book. Like, I really like it, but it's just so funny and like sarcastic. It reminded me a lot about Deadpool. Like, it's mostly just comedy with a little bit of superhero stuff. The Deep is another of my favorite books of this year. I love the mermaids and also the deep conversations these characters have and how they feel, and the story on itself is so rich. Watchlight Diaries is one of the best found family I have read this year. These girls are amazing. The love they have for each other is so tangible and so obvious. I'm low-key kind of envious that I'm not part of this friend group. The Dark Wife is another book that I recommend a lot and I loved it when I read it, but I haven't reread it since then and I'm probably won't. Man-Made Monsters is another collection of stories that I really liked. I like the vampires, the werewolves, the monsters. Well, this book also has deep conversations, and you can see a lot of colonization things because this book is written by an indigenous author, so of course there you can see similarities with the reality. So this is also another book that gives you a lot of different emotions because different stories focus on different things. And lastly, The Prairie of the Orange Tree, I liked it, but I was hoping for it to be so much more. I feel like if I was cut down into two books, I would have loved it even more, but it was way too long for me. Like, at the middle of the book, I was already tired of reading it. I was like, I have to continue. It is way too long for me. So there you have it, all of my queer books and how much I loved them, how much I didn't. Let me know if you have read any of them, if we share the same opinion, or if we don't. Or tell me one queer book that you will take to the grave with you. But that is it for this video. I hope you like it. If you did, give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in my next video.